Hi, Brian. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Osnet. Thank you for having me be part of the webinar today.
Happy to have you here, and we would love to jump in and get if you can tell us about yourself and what paved your way to the position that you hold today at YKK, managing sustainability.
Sure. So I've always been very environmentally minded. And when I started working for Marmot in design, it really gave me the opportunity to explore new realms in sustainability through development of new materials, design concepts, and really expanded my entire horizon on what is possible in sustainability. And so basically, I've taken that education, that experience, and brought it to YKK to go ahead and take and apply those same concepts to fastener products. And this is more than just looking at the products themselves. It's looking at how the products are made, how the products function, and what we do with the products at the end of their life, which is a really important topic that we're just now starting to go ahead and talk about. So as part of my job at YKK and sustainability, my job is to really look to the future and start creating strategies around sustainability and how we can create more sustainable products, how we can make our production facilities much more sustainable, and really envision the future products that brands and customers are going to be looking for, and really get us to start working and developing those products. And then lastly is around the communications. YKK has been involved in sustainability for an incredibly long period of time, but no one's aware of that. And that's just because we as a company don't talk a lot about it. We just internalize a lot of the good things that we do, and we're not overly boastful. We're a very humble company in a lot of ways. And so we don't talk about a lot of the great work we do. A lot of people don't realize, but YKK has been involved in sustainability for an incredibly long period of time. We created our first environmental chapter or charter in 1994, long before sustainability was a huge buzzword. We created our first zipper using recycled polyester materials in 1994. So think about that. We've actually had a product in the market that addresses sustainability for almost 30 years now. And that's just something that we don't talk about and people are just not aware of. So that's part of my job is to, let people know what we are doing, and all the good things that we have coming to help designers go ahead and make their products more sustainable.
So we've heard in recent years about YKK's sustainability commitment. So what is the thinking behind YKK's plan to switch to 100% sustainable textile materials by 2030?
Well, this goes to our bigger sustainability goals. We just announced in October our what we call our Sustainable Vision 2050. And this is really our roadmap to become carbon neutral by 2050. And so to that end, we need to go ahead and reduce our scope one, scope two, and scope three emissions by 50% for scope one and two by 2030, and on scope three by 30% by 2030. And so material sustainability is going to be a very, very big, important part of that. And so to achieve those scope three goals, we need to go ahead and switch all our textile materials over to the most sustainable materials we can have. So either that's going to be recycled polyesters and materials like that, or plant-based materials, which we have a lot of development work going on right now. So it's going to take an all the above type of effort on products to go ahead and achieve our sustainability goals. And these are part of our bigger overall goals. YKK is one of the few companies that has gone and signed the UN's fashion charter for climate change. And we're committed to reducing or trying to hold global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And so we have a very big lift to go ahead and be able to accomplish that. And so this is part of our action plan, go ahead and achieve these goals and make sure that we're not contributing to the problem of global warming.
So how does digitalization fit into YKK's sustainability plans?
We really see sustainability as just being one of the one of the tools to allow us to go ahead and achieve these goals. It's going to be critical for us to adopt all these new type of tools, yeah, digitalization, AI, 3D design, all these are going to be critical tools to go ahead and allow us to achieve these goals of reducing our impacts from apparel design and manufacturing. And so having this toolkit of all these different tools is going to allow us to really reduce the impacts that we have on garment design, as well as all the other associated impacts that are in production. And so by having 3D digital design, it allows us to really reduce the waste and the impacts that we have in design, right? Design is incredibly wasteful when you think about the current process, right? You know, a designer sketches something out, typically, maybe they'll do it on an Illustrator or something like that. They send it to a factory. That factory then produces a sample. They send the sample back to the company. They go ahead, put it through fit trial, send it back. That process just takes so long, wastes so many valuable resources. The ability to go ahead and do that in a digital format where we can go ahead and create the design digitally, transmit the patterns from that design digitally, create a product, and not have to go through that process of creating endless samples, wasting all the product materials to go ahead and create it and then ship it back and forth. So it's going to be incredibly important to utilize these tools like 3D design to be able to go ahead and do that. More importantly, as we look to the future, design is and production is going to change radically. We're not going to be in the same kind of mass production of apparel that we are today. This idea of going ahead and driving huge volumes through particular designs just is not sustainable for the long term. So our production processes are going to have to change. We're going to have to think about being able to go ahead and have production that is smaller, more bespoke, more custom, limited production runs. And that's where 3D design really fits in. The ability to go ahead and design, make new designs quickly, easily, and transmit that to the producers really cuts out an incredible amount of time and reduces all that waste and enables that ability to have these smaller, more custom production runs that are going to happen for the future. So there's a lot that digitalization is going to really allow us to do on the production side. It's also going to allow us to do a lot of other interesting things as well. So if you look at, for example, how we sell to customers and how we market to customers, one of the new exciting projects that YKK is just now releasing is our new digital showroom. And what's cool about that is the fact that we can now have online a virtual space where we can go ahead and connect directly with our customers and take them through in a real immersive type experience to show them products, show them different types of materials that we use, show them how these products will impact them in this virtual world. We can also go ahead and have a space where we can create community as well. Our new digital showroom also has an auditorium to it, which is really cool. So we can have online type of meetings, presentations, and really create kind of a sense of community and gathering place from this platform. So it really enables us to do quite a bit. But that's another great example of digitalization, right? Being able to go ahead and create this space where we can pull people in from all over the world onto a virtual platform and really have a meaningful experience with them and really allow them to experience the product in a really deep, immersive way. Because as we think about it, we can't continue to go ahead and do business as usual. We used to go ahead and take and travel to customers all over the world to show them our latest products. And that just is not sustainable long term. We need to find new ways to be able to go ahead and do that with them, to be able to reach out, show them products, and really get them to experience in ways other than being one-to-one in person. So there's a lot of really, I think, interesting things that digitalization is going to allow us to do in that space.
So what about digitally enabled products? What are YKK's plans in that, if you have?
There's a lot of I think really interesting things that are starting to come into digital enabled products, and the first product that we're announcing, which we'll be announcing this summer, is a product we call TouchLink. And what makes TouchLink unique is TouchLink has a NFC chip embedded in the Polar, which is just to give you a little idea. So this is just an example of it. You can see that little round
Mm.
shape in there. That is the NFC chip. If you go ahead and take this and you put your phone up to it, it'll automatically go ahead and sense a chip in there and take you directly to a website that is pre-programmed into the chip. And so what this gives you is this ability to create a two-way communication between the brand and the customer. And what's unique about this is it moves us away from this experience that we've had with customers, which is transactional, right? If I'm a customer, I buy a product from a brand, and once I bought that product, that is the end of that relationship. But instead, what this enables you is it enables a two-way communication between the brand and the customer. And this two-way communication enables a whole new platform of all types of new opportunities. So if I'm looking at resale or I'm looking at rental, this really opens up the doors for those type of more circular type of products and circular ways of doing business. So it really is much more sustainable, and it also allows us to go ahead and create important things around product end of life. Because one of the key things that we're going to have to address is what do we do with products at the end of their lives, right? How do we go ahead and move these products through the system to be recycled and remade? And that's where having an enabled chip like that will really help on the sorting, the recycling of these garments at the end of their life. So it really helps this entire sustainability ecosystem that we're trying to go ahead and create.
When is this supposed to come out? When is this supposed to launch?
We will be launching this in the
Mhm.
July timeframe. Right
Mhm.
now, we have one brand partner who will be launching the technology later on in the month of May. And then we expect more brands to go ahead and adopt it going forward. But we really see this as being the future in a lot of
Yep.
ways.
You look at the sustainability space, right? There's a lot of media noise around sustainability in fashion. Our audience, they look at that, they read about it. There's a lot of it could be very overwhelming. But you, as a sustainability professional, what advice would you give to a young fashion designer that is looking to adopt a more sustainable approach?
Well, I think that for young designers, it's really important for them to immerse themselves into, the sustainability materials that exist and the trims that exist, and start with the basic building blocks to understand the inputs that are going into the designs and the footprint around those, their environmental impacts, right, of all the materials that they go ahead and use. But more importantly, I think young designers really need to adopt what I would call a systems design process and really think about the entire system. One of the challenges that a lot of young designers have is, they've got amazing creativity and they have great ideas of what they want to create, but they don't really have a lot of knowledge about all the processes to create those items and how to make them. And having a deeper understanding about the entire production process, about all the impacts associated with that, and then thinking about how about the end of the life of that product, which is really, really key. Designers learn a lot of great talents and skills in design school about designing and making products, but they don't necessarily learn about how to design to take a product apart, right? And that's really the key thing. How do you go ahead and design a product to be unmade at the end of its life? So, and it's really having this more holistic design process of thinking the entire cycle of a product as opposed to just thinking about making something that's pretty, right?
Wonderful. So thank you so much for this interview. It was a great, very insightful. And just to know, how can people see the new virtual showroom of YKK? How can they reach that? That was just launched this week, right?
It just launched today, so fresh. It's right up. So if you go to ykkfastening.com, you can access the digital site there, which will take you to the showroom. You could also go ahead and Google it and should be able to find it that way as well. So
Okay, so it's
please, please
open
go
for
explore.
everyone.
It's open for
That's great.
everyone. Please come explore. It's just like I said, a great immersive experience. You can just wander through, look at product. There's a lot of great information about YKK history, a lot of information about our sustainability efforts, as well as a lot of really great product information as well. So please, I invite
Wonderful.
everybody to go check out our digital showroom.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, Brian.
Thank you for having me.